Shalom. Call Haloyamla, Yahapwa, Bahasham, Yahapushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Brakata Yahapwa, Brakata Yahapushai, Brakata Racha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahapushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elders in Akim, Wa Akwath. Shalom. Want to go into a quick video here. Came across an article that released 2 days ago, entitled here. It says Russia and China officially announced a new global reserve currency. Now we know that this goes into part of that World War III battle. It's going to be economically and militarily, physically as well. But like the sanctions that America's put on Russia, and Russia is not bending to their will anymore, because that's the hooks that the Most High put in his jaws, right? To be able to come back to that old Soviet Union Cold War spirit, that war spirit was about to usher in World War III, or what it's basically underway in multiple facets. With the economy, Russia cutting off the pipeline and everything, the gas. I believe what they ran from Russia to Europe, and which backfired on America with those sanctions that they thought was going to cripple and bring Russia down to its knees and keep them under subjection, like they've been doing since the Cold War ended. But Russia is back with the hooks in its jaws, back in that Cold War spirit, back in that fighting spirit, because of the Most High. In Ezekiel 38, that prophecy is coming to pass, and now it's just just a matter of all of the dominoes continuously falling, because everything's going to work together. Everything is weaving perfectly and flawlessly together by the beautiful, infinitely accuracy of the Most High's hands and His dealings and the prophecies He gave us to comfort us, to give us the script before it happens. And we've been prophesying and calling it all before it's happened, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, because everything's coming to pass exactly as prophesied. Because this is what's happening. We'll go ahead and get that real quick. What we in Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17 says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them." Against who? Babylon. And these days it's talking. This is a prophecy for a future Medes, the landmass that's occupied today is by the Russians. So the Russians are the modern day Medes. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. And that's what's happening. And verse 19, real quick, so you'll know that this is talking about a future time period in the future Babylon. Verse 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. Why is it the glory of kingdoms? Because it has a bit of all the old, great, so-called great, ancient heathen kingdoms. Ancient Babylon, ancient Egypt, the Greco-Roman Empire revised. So all of these ancient kingdoms, it's the glory of the kingdoms, one big melting pot here in Babylon, the great America. The glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees is excellency. And that goes into the witchcraft, because if you know about the history of the old Babylonian captivity of Judah, the southern kingdom, when Nebuchadnezzar was ruling, right? The Chaldeans was the capital of, was the chief city of the warlocks and the witches and those that worked, the diviners, the familiar spirits, those witches and everything, with the witchcraft and the spells and magic and astrologers and everything. So today it's Hollywood and the media pushing it through every level, every mode of communication, through the internet, television, radio, the movies, etc. Right. So this is the modern day Chaldeans, because everyone's being indoctrinated through the witchcraft of the propaganda of the media and the movies. Because when you watch movies, society, you see the people and how they act. When you watch movies, that's how they act in the movies, because the people go and see all these movies, and then that's how they're taught, and through the internet now on a higher level, because you have such access to the internet now. It's all kind of instant new wicked things spread, like all of these challenges and everything, that's on these social media platforms. It's indoctrinating everybody. Everyone just follow and do the same stuff, and that's that witchcraft. Everybody under a spell, just doing the same things. And when you speak against it, then they go crazy, because they got those demons that have that cat that got them under that spell. But the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So we know that this is a future Babylon, because in verse 20 it says, "It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there." And we know that it's inhabited. So Babylon, ancient Babylon, the landmass today is what? It's Iraq, and we know Iraq is a functioning country over there, right? And it's a nation, and they go by Iraq. It's people just like the Russians are in the land of the ancient Medes. So it's not Babylon. Iraq today is not burnt down like Sodom and Gomorrah, because you go to Sodom and Gomorrah today, it's still destroyed with the remnants of the remains of the fire. So we know that Babylon, Iraq, is not burnt down like Sodom and Gomorrah. So this is a future Babylon. So we know that these Medes that won't regard the silver of is talking about the economy and the money system, the dollar today. America that dominates, has been dominating, and has the world's top currency. But we know the dollar's been falling for quite some time, and it's about to crash very soon. And everybody's switching globally to a global economy, global currency. So it's economic war with the digital economy. Everyone is destroying their current. All the nations of the earth are destroying their physical current global currency of the dollar, and ushering in and instituting their own digital currency and digital economy based off of their allies and who they with. So that's what's happening in Russia. They're not worried about. They're not going to bend. Biden came out with all those sanctions, thinking, when Russia first invaded Ukraine, thinking that Biden thinking and NATO, led by America the whore, thought that the Russians they were going to cripple the Russians and defeat them just off of the sanctions and through the economic warfare alone. But Russia's not worried about that, because they pretty sufficient on their own. They just having to make the proper ties with China, because because they have the gas pipeline. They're pretty sufficient, and their money, the ruble, is backed by gold. Unlike America, that took off the dollar from the gold standard, that was back around, I think it was Ronald Reagan or Jimmy Carter. No, not Jimmy Carter. Richard Nixon or Ronald Reagan. One of those two had took the gold away from backing the dollar, and when they took the gold away from backing the dollar, then the dollar became like monopoly money, literally, because that's just the currency that they're using now. But it's not, it's just debt notes, and it doesn't have any value. It's debt, literally debt, with interest on it. So every time they print money, that's making the economy worse and worse, because there's just more and more debt being piled up. And so they're about to destroy the physical currency of the dollar, and other countries have, physical currencies as well. But the main dollar they convert it into, the main, currency they convert it into is the dollar whenever they want to do international purchases. And we're dealing with America for sure, so they're about to do away with the physical currency and now put in this global currency for the economy, and that's going to be also to try all men on the earth, to usher in the one of the last biggest and greatest prophecies here in Revelation chapter 13 and 16, because this must come to pass before World War III truly go, full out, and then then those missiles get shot off, thermonuclear missiles get shot off, and then the Messiah returns to put an end to it all and deliver the elect of Israel. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And this digital economy is the anchor, is the foundation for all of that. And this is the new global reserve currency that Russia, the modern day Medes, and China, have linked up and solidifying their partnership and their allies against the whore that's going to come up against them and burn them. So it says, if you reading the article here, says, if you've blinked over the last month, you may have missed it. Dropping down, says China and Russia are taking their shot at the U.S. dollar, and as often happens with consequential news in the United States and the West, no one seems to notice or even care. So they're not even, this should be major news, but no one's speaking on it. But these are the moves that are being made, to the blind eye, to the West. The people and the media is not covering this, and they don't want the people to know pretty much what's going on anyway. But Ray says, since the beginning of the year, I have been writing about the possibility of Russia and China challenging the U.S. dollar's global reserve status. Now it's happening. He's trying to pump himself up like a prophet, but he's been talking about it since around January of 2022. But the prophets and teachers been speaking about this and prophesying this beast, the mark of the beast system, New World Order, for decades. And then this was prophesied 2,000 years ago from the Most High Power when he gave John the Revelator in the book of Revelations the prophecy 2,000 years ago. So this is all coming to pass. So this writer here, he doesn't know what's going on. He may think he do, but he have a carnal understanding of what's happening. It says, it shouldn't be any surprise to those paying attention that Russia and China are strengthening their economic ties amidst continued Western sanctions on Russia as a result of the country's war in Ukraine. Because of the sanctions, and this is further just drawing that line in the sand. Everyone's about to go into their own allies, to their own countries, and link up with their allies, strengthen together, reported as this, with their economies, and then get all of that solidified while still having little skirmishes here and there. And then once they're ready to go forth, they're about to go into full World War III mode once strengthen their ties together through the economies. And they're like, okay, we're about to go to war, so we about to go. Let's go ahead and fully marry with the money structure and system, so that we can have a foundation moving forward after this war, after the war. But little do they know, they think that they'll be able to circumvent and get around the prophecies of them being destroyed by the Messiah, but it won't happen. America and its allies and Russia and Persia, which is modern day Iran, and China, who are the Moabites, are linked up with the Medes as well. The Russians in these days, Gog and Magog. So continuing on right here, says what may surprise some people, however, is that Russia and the BRICS countries, including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are officially working on their own new global reserve currency. RT reported in late June. Nobody even seemed to notice. So this BRICS, the S has been added. S is South Africa. They just been added recently, I think in 2010. But it was the BRIC, and that's an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and that's four. Now, those are those four carpenters spoken of in Zephaniah or Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 1 verse 20. It says, and the Lord showed me four carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns. The horns represents kings, the four kingdoms. These are the four horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. Because ultimately all the heathen of the nation of the earth have had a hand and lifting up their head against us, because we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever we're at, we're being oppressed. That's part of the way you can identify the Israelites, is through the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Those curses were going to follow us until the Messiah returned. So we in all four corners of the earth, America, its allies, and Russia, China, and all their allies, the BRIC. These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head, beating us down with slavery and oppression. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. So we know the chief people that scattered Israel, that's the fourth beast, the Romans, which is revised as America today, and they are NATO and the EU, and with the whore on top of NATO and EU, the whore America, Babylon the Great. So although and that's part of the reason too why the Messiah is going to destroy, the BRICS, the BRIC, Brazil, Russia, China, and India, because they all had a hand in our oppression and slavery as well, and destruction as well. But the Messiah is going to use them right now, put the hooks in their jaws, leading, with Russia leading the way of the BRIC and its allies to burn America in the end, right? So, and it's going to destroy the Gentiles as scattered the land of Judah, which are the so-called the pilgrims of those times. The chiefly is the it descends from those the NATO countries today, because they are the ones that put us on the slave boats and everything, so goes pretty heavily and deep and on that front. But he's going to use Gog and Magog, the BRIC, and their allies to fray the Gentiles, the NATO and EU, and the whore America, and that word fray, it goes into let's see, where is that? It says to tremble, quake, move about, be afraid, be startled, be terrified, to tremble, quake, to cause to tremble, down here at the bottom, to cause to tremble, to drive in terror, rout an army. So BRIC is causing a stir amongst NATO and EU, and they're scrambling, trying to hurry up and cut off Russia and trying to do everything they can to try to stay on top of Russia, but Russia is rising up because it's the Most High doing it. Because Russia, their technology and thermonuclear missiles are more advanced than America's. So that's what's happening there. It says, including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now, those were four. Now it's five because they added South Africa around 2010. Are officially working on their own new global reserve currency, RT reported in late June. Nobody even seemed to notice. The issue of creating an international reserve currency based on a basket of currencies of our countries is being worked out, Vladimir Putin said at the BRICS Business Forum last month. So, like I was saying, this is them going into their own lands and then linking up and further marrying their allies, uh, getting real deep together to be able to have a foundation once the war is over with their enemy, which is it's Gog and Magog versus and its allies Russia and America and NATO and the EU about to go at it. But as prophecy says, a lot of the allies of the of America is going to begin to hate her, and then it's going to turn and link up with Russia, the bear, and destroy America too with those missiles. So reading on, it says, and of course, as Russia has been cut off from the SWIFT system, it is also pairing with China and the BRIC nations to develop reliable alternative mechanisms for international payments in order to cut reliance on the Western financial system. And so they're cutting their reliance. They're not regarding the silver of Babylon the Great and its riches, and forming their own economic structure and system. So and this SWIFT system here, and that's ironic that they named it, that it's called SWIFT, like fast. Basically, like they in a rush, right? So SWIFT system. Oh yeah, I have it. Give me 1 second. I have it here. It says, "What is a SWIFT payment? What is a SWIFT payment, and how does it work?" It says, "Hire anyone, anywhere, quickly and easily. Use our AI-driven, automated, fully compliant, global employment platform, powered by our in-house, worldwide HR experts. Trust the name industry leader. Trust the name industry leader that consistently attains 98% customer satisfaction ratings. Globalization partners succeed faster." What's globalization? The New World Order. Of who? The Illuminati. It's going to usher in the Revelation 13:16 through 17, the mark. So why they need they want a one-stop shop. They want to put everything in one centralized digital network. Want to make everybody, and then put that technology in you to be able to link you and upload you to their interface. Like I made a video, said that they want to make you an interface, and that's how they're going to do it. Everything going to be done through this SWIFT system, basically. It says when your company is ready to grow internationally. So this is talking about all of the elites that run the companies. The same thing today. Everybody works at companies, and they are tied in to the B system, but on a different, not to the digital, not on the digital level, but like when the mandates of the mask all went down, the government that works for the shadow government, Illuminati, they put the orders in to make all the people that own companies to implement these mandates, right? can't work unless you get this or do that. You have to wear a mask, and this coming to the grocery stores, you got to wear a mask. So this is all the same thing, but now it's all going digitally. So anything, it'll be even faster, and it's like this. It's called what, the Swift system. Quick, fast. All they gotta do is hit a switch, and everything's implemented that they want. So it's gonna be because it's more of a process when it was physical, when they, telling the people through the media that this is what's going to happen. You have to do this, that, and the third, and the companies and everything in the grocery stores. But now everybody will be linked into the digital network. They'll just tell them, boom, do this, comply, or have this. It'd be a very quick process, swift process for them to, shut you out if you need to. Just like they cut out Russia, they'll cut out the citizens. How much more and easier will it be for them to cut out citizens that don't have an ability to, provide anything of substance? Because they have America deal with these other countries because it provides a benefit for them in their economy. So if they're cutting off people that can help them in a way, one way or the other, like with the gas pipeline and stuff like that from Russia, then how much more are they just cut off its citizens who they don't look as anything important unless you comply to them? And basically they want to be they want to be the God of the people and not the Most High. So it says, when your company is ready to grow internationally, you will need dependable ways to pay your remote global team members. Because right now they have remote employees, it's called outsourcing, where companies have all of these. Like when you call those customer service numbers and it's different countries, different accents. Now they're going to have everything linked through this system here to make it so much quicker for them, swifter for them to take care of everything in a very streamlined process. But it's it's the B system, the ultimate B system. It says one excellent option is to make payments through the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, and that's what the acronym SWIFT come from. Swift transactions are safe, fast, and reliable. So, like this says, Satan shall present himself as an angel of light. This is what they're doing, trying to make it seem like it's something great and incredible. But this is all this technology is directly of Satan. They help you they help you streamline and expedite payroll, pay your employees on time, and stay compliant with the law. Trying to act like it's something positive and beneficial with law abiding and just a streamlined process that's ethical, but it's very satanic and unethical. This guide will help you understand what Swift is used for, how Swift payment works, and how it can help your company grow. Because it'll be so easy just for them just to put it all on that technology, that little device that goes in people's hands, and everything will be linked to your financial, it'll be your direct deposit, your medical records, your credit card, everything. So I'll leave a link to the description. I'll leave the link to this in the description if you want to read this further, but just want to get a little bit honest, go into it, break it down a little bit of what this was. And so it's not a coincidence that it's called Swift, and it's just further showing the perfect accuracy of the Holy Scriptures. When you get Revelations 12 and 12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So that's what he's doing. He's coming down with great wrath, locking everybody, trying to enslave everyone digitally, and even his system is even called Swift. That's crazy. You can't make this up. Swift. What is the definition for swift? Very fast, very quick. It's just like that goat, the prophecy of the goat of the Greeks. It was the goat, his feet touched not the ground, moving very swift to destroy. And now he's moving swift again in the last days to destroy digitally and enslave the people to this new system of payments and the economy. Yeah, okay. Well, it's pretty much about goes into it. I'll leave this link in the description as well. Just wanted to kind of touch on it. This is just the next phase. Um, Everything is interweaving, but this is all going to usher in, Jacob's trouble, because this is the digital currency that's about to occur. Because America and NATO and its allies, America and its allies already have it. They're implementing it right now, and that's what's about to come down the pike here. On the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere, they have a similar system. Everything a global digital economic system, and to make everyone, just going to try everyone on the earth. And the elect will not give in to this. And then this is going to usher in Jacob's trouble, a time like never before. We'll go ahead and get that. So all of the players are in place, and all of the moves are being made to go ahead and usher in this period of Jacob's trouble, so that it's marked to be, so that World War III can officially go full speed ahead, and until those missiles hit, it's going to be a trial of tribulation during the World War III and that global economy and all of that, because it's going to be truly like the movie The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington, the apocalyptic times, and the movies like I Am Legend, and movies like The Road, and there's a lot of different ones like that. And that TV series with Walking Dead, everything was apocalyptic as well. So it's going to be stuff similar to kind of like that. What's going on leading up to those missiles being shot off, and then the Messiah returning. So Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. That period of time going to be worse than, like when you see these movies, you'd be like, man, those are the worst times ever in those apocalyptic movies, and that's what's coming soon. But the Most High going to keep safe the elect, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So Most High is letting us know that we will be delivered in the end. We just have to get through it and have the faith, and don't give in to this global reserve, this global system, this new digital global system economy that they got coming down. So with that being said, hope this video was edifying. The water to Rahak Wadash. Bless me to be able to make another video. Till next video, I say Shalom.